Stand up if your birthday is in July. Stand up if your birthday is in July. Now, if you're standing and you're willing to share what you or someone around you said about optimism, then raise your hand. No? Okay. What is optimism?
Being positive even in a bad situation.
Excellent. Stand up if your birthday is in December. Raise your hand if you're willing to share something about what optimism means that either you or somebody around you said. Okay, so what I'm noticing is some of you, now that you're 8th graders, are less willing to take a risk right now. I'm hoping you're going to get over that, because in order to learn and grow and improve, you're going to have to take risks. But I agree, Ella said it right. Optimism is looking on the bright side, looking for the positive side. This morning I was in a band class. They were circling up and talking about their hopes for this year. And there were some kids that were really looking at that with optimism and saying, oh, I can't wait to learn something new in math, or I'm really excited to go on the outdoor ed trip. And then there were some kids who were saying things like, I'm hopeful for the last day of school. And I'm like, yeah, we can all be hopeful for the last day of school, but that's going to make for a long, not very happy year if the whole time you're focused on the end instead of on what you're going to get out of the middle. So I really want you to be thinking about that and how you approach things. And in 8th grade, it's easy to get cynical already as an 8th grader and just be like, everything sucks, I don't want to do this. That is not going to be a positive experience for you or anybody around you. So yesterday, you see I have some new scrapes on my leg. Was riding Prince Creek, and I was with some people who were not feeling super confident, and it was a new trail for me. I haven't ridden it since last year, and they've done a lot of work since then. So I had a little mindset that I kept trying to challenge myself to be like, this is going to be fun, it's going to be great. But I also had this fear of like, it's new, I don't know, there might be rocks, I don't know. And the people around me were a little bit like that, because they had just gotten done with they'd been hurt recently. So the power that you have over the people around you is huge. And I want you to think about that. If you're around people who are down and complaining, how are you going to feel? And probably on the negative side, right? If you're around people who are enthusiastic and positive and really thinking that they can do it, how are you going to feel? Happier? More confident? Better? Okay. What's that? I didn't hear you. My scrapes are okay. I'm willing, now next weekend I'm going to try to get on the same trail, because this time I'm going to be better. Because I know what it's going to take to get down it. My thing's not working. There we go. So by the time you leave here in about 10 minutes, you're going to remember and commit to the school motto. What is the school motto? I need to set my timer. What is the school motto? Work hard, be kind, achieve. Okay, we have not really trained you guys in this yet, have you? Expect is definitely part of it. Executive skills. What's the next one? Perseverance, enthusiasm, compassion, and teamwork. Awesome. Now, that is our core belief system. Now, those are our character skills that we're working towards every day. But our motto is work hard, be kind, achieve. We changed the word to kind. We changed the word to kind a couple of years ago from nice, and that was just because a lot of people who were involved in the process felt like it said more about what we needed. So we're also going to talk about what it means to be the change and identify how you can make sure that we're a school where everybody belongs, and we'll review a couple expectations. Can you do this for me, because it works better from back there? I think I went too far, Caitlin. There we go. So, work hard, be kind, achieve. Work hard means not just at academics. We do want you to work hard at academics, to do all the practice that you need to get better, which is what the point of homework is practice. But also to work hard on the social side of things, because as 8th graders, sometimes the social stuff has gotten harder. It's not as easy to be kind. It's not as easy to jump out of your comfort zone and invite somebody to do something, because you're not sure how they're going to react. So I really want you to think about what you can do to show your self-kindness and to work hard at being interactive with other people, engaging, taking risks, willing to stand up and say something in front of other people, and also be the person who's not going to laugh at them and make them feel uncomfortable. So this quote from Margaret Mead, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." We are going to be using that "be the change" quite a bit this year. Be the change doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, you better change. What it means is we can all get better. And so we're asking you to be that change to make our school more kind. Be the change you wish to see in the world, be the change you wish to see in our school, and be the change you wish to see in yourself, to be the best self that you can be. So Where Everybody Belongs is a program that several of you participated in as 8th graders to help bring our 5th graders up this year, to make sure that 5th graders felt comfortable with that transition. I'd like you to turn and tell somebody next to you what you personally can do at school this year to make sure that every student in our school, every student in your grade, feels like they belong here. Turn and tell somebody, make sure both people talk. All right, let's see if more people take a risk this time. Stand up if your birthday is in April. Okay, if you're standing, are you willing to share what you or somebody next to you said? Raise your hand if you are. All right, Sophie, I knew I could take something.
If you see somebody getting bullied or like sitting alone, go and talk to them or sit with them. And like if you see somebody struggling, help them.
What would you say? How would that sound?
Hi. Just kind of like talk to them.
Awesome. Sometimes it's just hi. Sometimes it's not even a word. It's just a smile at somebody who nobody's been smiling at. All right. Is there anybody else who's willing to share what we can do to make sure this is a school where everybody belongs? I think we can have 2 more. Nice, Kaden.
What are we talking about? Let's see. You know, maybe come by, give me a hug. Be nice.
Okay. Okay, one more.
Maybe just like talk to people if you see anyone. Maybe if like you're doing like a group project or something, maybe invite someone to do the project with you instead of having them like having the teacher assign them to like a random group. Maybe just like include them.
I'm sure every one of you out there has been in a situation where you didn't feel like you were in the group, you know, regardless of what that is. And so, I mean, I can tell that even the people who are willing to take a risk with a microphone, it shouldn't be that much of a risk, but we're worried about what our peers are going to think about us. So make sure that you do these things that people are sharing, because if it's not you being the friend, then you're probably going to be the one that's out next time. So make sure that you're the one being the friend, okay? Next slide. So I wanted to review some expectations. Some are the same and some have changed. The dress code has changed a bit for this year. So the dress code says you need to make sure that all your private body parts are covered. And you need to make sure that you're not wearing anything that promotes drugs, alcohol, or bad words. So that means that you're okay with spaghetti straps now. Your shorts should cover your bottom, but we're not asking you to put your fingers and make sure they're a certain length. I'm asking for your voice. I asked some of you to share some different things. We asked for your voice, and some of you really took some ownership of that and got your voices heard, and we made the change. So make sure that you're respectful of that. Like always, if there is an issue with, it's mostly like the shorts need to cover your bottom. If they're not, we're going to ask you to change, same as we always did before. Respectfully, all by yourself, we'll say, do you have some clothes to change into, or do you want to change into some things in the Ellsperman's office? Turn your shirt inside out if it has something on it that's inappropriate. It's not a judgment of you, it's just these are our expectations at school. Dress professionally and comfortably for learning, okay? Cell phones, hat, and gum, no changes. Cell phones from 8 a.m. to 3:20, you should be no phone, turn it off. It can be on your body, but it shouldn't be on, because even if it's just buzzing in your pocket, it's going to be distracting to your learning. You may use a cell phone in a classroom for educational purposes. If the teacher asks you to take it out to do something, you may use it. Not everybody has a cell phone that they can use for those educational purposes, so if you don't, make sure that you let the teacher know, and make sure that the other kids around you be the person who can take the picture of the lab for your friends, something like that. Hats, same thing. And cell phones not out at lunch, but hats you can have at lunch. So from 8 until 3:20, as soon as you walk down the academic hallway, your hat's off. And you can have it on in the foyer, and you can also have it at lunch, but after you get through the academic hallway. When you get into the cafeteria, hats on, and also outside. And that includes hoods. Gum, not even walking in the door with it. We are adding in a new detention after school on Fridays. So from 3:15 to 3:20 to 3:45, you can work on community service if you're struggling with any of these things on a consistent basis. Bullying, harassment, and conflict. So the difference between bullying and conflict is usually between two people where both people take some ownership of it. Like if I push Karime in the hall and she pushes me back and I knock into somebody else, that's a conflict between two people. We both did something that wasn't great and we can take ownership of it. Versus bullying, where that's usually, sit back please, that's usually a power thing, where one person or a group of people are making somebody else feel less. And it can happen a lot of ways. Sometimes it's just with a look, sometimes it's with moving away from somebody, sometimes it's with words or something physical. Bullying is not acceptable, and we were asking you guys to, number one, interrupt it and jump in and say, I don't like how you're talking to him. You can tell he doesn't like that. And then take your friend elsewhere if they're the one that's doing it. And number two, report it to staff member. Harassment is actually against the law, and the school and the student can get in really big trouble for harassment. Harassment is a type of bullying where you're talking about a bigger group of people. So if you're talking about race or ethnicity or body or gender or sexuality, any of those things that can refer to more than just one person, that's harassment against the law, and it can get really serious. So there's one specific one that I want to talk to you about that has been, it's kind of a cultural thing that kids use a lot, and we're not going to use it here, and that's gay. You're so gay. And it's meant sort of as a joke and as this is just how we talk, but it is harassment because it does impact us, a whole certain group of people. So I just want to make sure that if you hear that, just remind people. I mean, we get used to certain patterns of words, and remember, we're not going to say that. Okay. Next slide. I think we're getting close to done now because my timer went off. Okay, so what's our motto again? With enthusiasm. Okay, are you really 8th graders? You're the leaders of our school? Okay, let's hear it big. Yes, Ashley, let's go. Okay, you've given me hope. I do think you can lead the school. Happy first day. The last slide, you want to go back one? The last slide basically just said, what are you going to do to grow? So I want you to think about that. How am I going to grow this year? Who am I going to be? It's a new beginning. It's a chance for you to be the change and try to get better at something. Do make mistakes, you'll learn from them and then try differently next time. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to put yourself around people who are ready for that growth and be courageous about it. So.